everybody. This video is on beginning separation training with your puppy. My little puppy is 9 weeks old and I've had him about a week. Prior to working on this specific exercise of seeing me moving away from a barrier, I've been working on teaching him to be okay in the crate at night and when he's taking naps. And I also worked on teaching him to settle, and I'll link a video in the description below of that behavior, which he's doing down there. And the other behavior that I taught prior to this exercise, Free, get it, is just luring him into the down position. So you can either do that by putting the treat down on the ground like that and seeing if the dog thinks to lay down, or when the dog is standing, you move the treat at a diagonal into the dog's face like that. Good, and then you mark and reinforce slowly between the paws like that. So I've got this pen area set up for him, and there's a dog bed, which I've reinforced him for laying on already. And so I'm going to walk in here, and I could either wait and see if he thinks to lay down on the bed, which is something that we've worked on, and he's just sitting. So, oh, good. So he thought to lay down. I can say good, mark, and reinforce. If he didn't think to lay down, I could hold the treat there and see if he thinks to lay down with the treat down there, or I could lure him into the down position like that. So now that he's laying down in there, I can step out of his pen and stand over here and reinforce him. If he thought to come out, what I can do, if he thought to come out and he said, hey, wait a second, where are those treats at? And he comes to try and get a treat, I can simply walk back in here and then sit with him until he thinks to lay down again. And then when he's laid down, I'm going to take a step away, good, and then reinforce him for that, so that he's learning the reason he's getting the treats is because I'm moving away from him while he's staying there. Good. And I'm doing it in a very calm manner and not using a clicker. I'm just using a marker word to help keep him calm, because I like to use the staccato noise of a clicker for fun, exciting behaviors with my own dogs. Some people do really well with using a clicker for calm behaviors, but I like to use a calm marker like good or yep, and then drop the treat like that. So I'm going to try coming out again. Good. And I'm going to drop the treat. Good. And then when the dog is doing really well with that, you can try walking back and forth in front of the pen. Good. Or the gate. If you have other dogs, you can practice walking over to them to give them a treat. That's really hard for him because he thinks he should go over and eat their treat. Good. 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 I'm also going to practice walking further away. Good. He almost got up. Good. Awesome. So you can practice walking further away, and you can add duration. So at first, you don't want to add duration while you're further away. You want to add duration while you're standing right next to the pen like this. So I could count to 20 while he's just laying there, relaxing. I'm not going to count to 20 now because it will be super boring, but then I can drop a treat like that. And then when I add distance of moving away, I'm going to come immediately back. So it's easier when I move away. The other game that you can play is when the dog comes out, you can just stand at the entrance, good, and reinforce the dog for choosing to go back in. So the lesson learned there is if he were to think to come out, that you're showing him how to get back in. First by standing near the entrance of the pen, and he's choosing to go back in there. Good. And then you can do it from further away. So when they're further away, you might want to go back to just cheating with training pop-ups. So not everybody can pick their puppy up, but I'm going to pick him up, show him there's a bunch of treats on his bed, and then move further away with him, and then just let him go towards the pen from further away like that. And he's like, oh boy, Good job. Good boy. Free. Free. And when you want him to come out, you can say free. Pop-ups, free. Good job. And now that he's had treats sprinkled in there, I can use the cue, go in the pen, and then reinforce him for going into the pen to look for the treats. And he actually had forgotten one. He didn't see it. So there was one still in there. Good job. Good. I have a tutorial on teaching go to the bed and go in the crate, and I'll link those below if you need more instructions about this concept of teaching the dog to go in and offer going in on their own. Now that he's a pro at settling and I have treats that aren't making him super excited, I can even toss them between his paws. If you're really terrible at throwing and they're going all over the place, then don't do that. Walk over and drop the treat. But you can get your dog used to tossing treats if that makes it easier for you in your lifestyle. I have a bad back at the moment, so bending over really hurts. So I like to toss treats for my dogs at the moment like this. I've opened the door, closed it. Good. Throw a treat. Good. So the door doesn't necessarily mean that I am leaving. That's why it's a great idea to start with the door open as you walk away, because what happens usually when people are training dogs is that they close the door, the dog's standing and they walk away, then they don't know if the dog is feeling like they want to get out. So by having the dog in the down position with the door open, when the dog stands up and when the dog leaves the pen or the gated area, it's very obvious that they don't want to be in there anymore. So this game is building their choice to be in there when certain things happen. So I'm going to have a cue, go in your crates or go in your pen or go in your bed. If there's no pen and it's just a bed or the couch. Good. And I'm going to reinforce the dog for settling there while distractions happen or while there is duration of me doing other stuff. Good. Good. Tug. Good. So now I'm going to add the distraction of a dog doing stuff. Good. And first, a very calm movement of just sitting there. Good. And maybe he's going to do some paw exercises. Good. Good. So at first, I'm marking the moment that the other dog moves and does a behavior. Wave. Bye. Good. And then I can start to delay when I give the treat. I suggest, oops, I dropped the treat on the other side of the bed. I suggest that if your dog already knows behaviors, that you use behaviors they already know and you don't use a marker at first because that can be a little bit confusing. So you're just marking the dog in the bed. So you can say wave, both paws. Good. Down. Switch. Cross. And I'm just saying his cues and not saying a marker after every one. Because I'm teaching the puppy that he's going to do multiple behaviors before the treat is coming. Good. At first. Then, when you're further away from the dog, you can start marking multiple times before the puppy behind the pen gets a treat. But at first, I wouldn't start with that, just in case it's confusing. Are you ready? Twirl. Spin. Good. Tug, go legs. Tug, go legs. Another thing you can do is just feed. So you're not using any marker word at first when you're introducing the concept of training another dog in front of your dog. So all of these behaviors, Tug knows actually on a visual cue, but I could work on just saying the cues and not marking. Legs, legs, and I'm just going to feed him a treat and feed this guy a treat. And for some dogs, like this little guy, markers excite him a lot. So not using a verbal marker really helps him. Another game you can play is having your dog settle on a bed and then just go around a corner and come back. So you're just going out of sight and coming back. You can either add a cue to it, which I call see you later for when I leave my dogs. Say, for example, I'm closing a door and going behind the door and coming back. Or you can simply just disappear because they're in their pen and you're moving throughout the house and you're going to disappear into a room. So here he is in his bed. I'm going to go behind this wall. Good. And then come back. And if he were standing up, I could just sit here and wait till he thinks to lay down again. Or I can play this game with the door open so that if I walk around the corner and he comes and finds me, I can just walk back with him and then wait till he lays back down there and then just work on me just walking here and then coming back. So I'm going to wait behind the wall for a bit and see if he gets up like that. I can just demo what to do. Now the point is to not have them get up. So if they're getting up more than 3 times within a couple minutes, that tells you that you're making it too hard for the dog. You want them to really enjoy settling on the bed while you disappear and come back. Good. And what is this training doing? It's reinforcing the dog for wanting to lay on his bed when you disappear into different rooms rather than you disappearing is the cue to follow you and figure out where you went and jump up and go and sit with you in the bathroom or wherever you're going. Good. Usually it's much harder for some dogs to see their owner disappear in their house while they're in a pen than for the owner to completely leave. So if you can teach your puppy and dog to be behind a barrier while you're doing stuff at home without freaking out, that's really going to help him when you do have to leave the house. And teach him to be comfortable home alone. Hi, Boo Boo. You want to come through here? Wish wants to come through because there's a creepy fly that's buzzing around the living room. Okay, well, I think we'll stop there before my puppy swells up like a balloon. But I've been using his kibbles. He's had breakfast, and this is a midday meal. So he's had his midday meal of his kibbles. If you use treats that are too exciting, you can imagine that the puppy might want to follow you around the corner because the yummy treats disappeared. So all in all, this is a great impulse control exercise as well because you're teaching him to control his impulses when something he wants disappears. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support my work, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also become a supporting member of Channel Kiko Pup by clicking the join button. See you later.